Marcus Chen stared at his laptop screen and felt his stomach drop. Another rejection email. He had lost count of how many companies had said no to him in the past 3 months. Maybe it was 15. Maybe it was 20. He did not want to count anymore because counting made him feel worse. He took a sip of his coffee. It had gone cold an hour ago, but he did not want to spend money on another cup. Money was tight these days. Very tight. Marcus looked around the cafe. It was busy, like always on a Tuesday morning. People came and went with their fancy coffee drinks and their neat business clothes. They looked successful. They looked like they had their lives figured out. Marcus did not feel like that at all. His corner table by the window had become his office over the past few months. He could not afford to rent a real office space. His apartment was too small and too depressing to work from. So he came here every day, bought one coffee and made it last as long as possible. The owner did not seem to mind. Marcus always left a small tip even when he could barely afford it. He was 28 years old. That felt old and young at the same time. Old enough to feel like he should have figured things out by now. Young enough to still have hope that things could change. But that hope was getting smaller every day. Marcus worked as a freelance IT technician. That was a fancy way of saying he fixed computers for people who needed help. Sometimes it was a broken laptop. Sometimes it was a virus. Sometimes it was just someone who forgot their password. The jobs were small and the pay was small too. He barely made enough to cover his rent and food. Forget about saving money. Forget about going out with friends. Forget about taking a vacation. Life had become about surviving, not living. He closed the rejection email without reading it fully. He knew what it said anyway. They all said the same thing. Thank you for applying. We received many qualified candidates. We decided to move forward with someone else. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Blah, blah, blah. Marcus opened a job search website and started scrolling. Junior developer position. Required 5 years of experience. He almost laughed. How could a junior position need 5 years of experience? Senior network administrator. Required multiple certifications he did not have. Customer support specialist. Pay $12 an hour. He had bills that needed more than $12 an hour. He had a college degree in computer science. He had graduated with good grades. He thought that would be enough. He thought companies would see his potential and give him a chance. But every job wanted experience. Real company experience. Not freelance work. Not small repair jobs. They wanted big names on his resume. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. Companies that would never look at someone like him. The irony was not lost on Marcus. He was good at what he did. Really good. He could diagnose computer problems faster than most people he knew. He understood systems and networks and code. He had taught himself things that were not even in his college textbooks. But none of that mattered if he could not get his foot in the door somewhere. His phone buzzed. A text message from his landlord. Rent was due in 5 days. Marcus felt the familiar knot of anxiety in his chest. He had most of the rent money. Not all of it. He would need to pick up at least 2 more repair jobs this week to make up the difference. Maybe 3 jobs to be safe. He opened his email again and sent out 5 more job applications. He had learned to lower his expectations. He was not aiming for dream jobs anymore. He was just aiming for anything that would pay a steady salary. Anything that came with health insurance. Anything that would let him stop worrying about money every single day. The cafe got busier around him. More people came in for their morning coffee. Marcus recognized some of the regulars. There was the older man who always ordered a black coffee and read the newspaper. There was the young woman who video called her friends in another country. There was the businessman who typed very fast on his phone and always seemed stressed. Marcus wondered what their lives were like. Did they worry about rent? Did they send out job applications that went nowhere? Or did they have stable jobs and comfortable lives? He tried not to feel jealous, but sometimes he could not help it. He looked at his bank account on his phone. The number was low. Dangerously low. He needed to eat today. He needed to put gas in his car. He needed to buy groceries for the rest of the week. He did a quick calculation in his head. If he was very careful, he could make it work. Barely. Marcus thought about calling his parents. They had offered to help him before. But he did not want to ask them for money again. They were retired and living on fixed incomes. They had their own bills to worry about. Besides, he was 28. He should be able to take care of himself by now. He opened his freelance work website to check for new job postings. Someone needed help setting up a home network. The pay was $60. Someone else needed a virus removed from their computer. The pay was $40. He sent messages to both people offering his services. Maybe they would respond. Maybe they would not. It was always a gamble. The rejection email was still open in another tab. Marcus finally closed it. He did not need the reminder of his failure sitting there all day. He tried to focus on the positive. He had a roof over his head, even if the rent was late sometimes. He had skills that people needed. He had his health. Things could be worse, but things could also be better. So much better. Marcus finished his cold coffee and thought about ordering another one. He looked at the menu board. $4 for a regular coffee, $4 he needed for other things. He decided to wait. Maybe in an hour he would treat himself if one of the freelance clients responded. He opened a coding tutorial on his laptop. If he could not get a job right now, at least he could keep learning. At least he could keep improving his skills. Maybe that would make a difference someday. Maybe someone would finally give him a chance. The morning continued around him. People talked and laughed. The coffee machine hissed and steamed. Music played softly from the speakers overhead. Marcus tried to lose himself in the tutorial. Tried to forget about the unpaid bills and the rejection emails and the uncertain future. He did not know that his life was about to change. He did not know that in just a few minutes everything would be different. He did not know that the woman sitting at the table next to him would soon be in a panic. And he definitely did not know that helping her would change his entire future. For now, Marcus was just another person in a cafe, trying to make it through another difficult day. The sound came from the table next to Marcus. A frustrated groan followed by the clicking of a mouse. Click, 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 fast and desperate. Marcus looked up from his laptop. A woman sat at the table beside him. She was probably in her mid-40s. She wore a nice blue suit that looked expensive. Her hair was pulled back in a neat bun. She had a leather briefcase on the floor next to her chair. Everything about her said successful businesswoman. But right now her face showed pure panic. Click, click, click. She kept hitting the mouse button. Her other hand pressed keys on the laptop keyboard. Nothing was working. Marcus could see it from where he sat. Her screen was black except for a white error message. Even from a distance, he recognized that error message. He had seen it many times before. The woman pressed the power button. The laptop shut down. She waited a few seconds, then pressed it again. The laptop started up. The same black screen appeared. The same error message. She made a sound that was half frustration and half despair. Marcus looked back at his own laptop. It was not his business. He did not know this woman. She probably did not want a stranger bothering her. Rich people in expensive suits usually did not want help from people like him. He had learned that lesson before, but the woman's panic was growing. She picked up her phone and made a call. Marcus could hear her side of the conversation. "Hi, I need help. My laptop just died. No, I do not know what happened. It just went black. I tried restarting it 3 times already. Is there any way you can fix it in the next 30 minutes? She paused. Her face fell. 2 hours? I do not have 2 hours. My presentation is in 45 minutes. Can you come to me? I am at the Starbucks on 5th Street. Another pause. Marcus watched her shoulders slump. Okay, I understand. No, that will not work. Thank you anyway. She hung up. She put her hands on her face. Marcus could see her taking deep breaths, trying not to break down in public. She called someone else. David, it is Jennifer. I have a problem. My laptop crashed and I cannot get my presentation open. I know I should have backed it up, but I did not and now I am stuck. Can you present for me? You do not have the files? Right, of course not. They are on my laptop, which does not work, Jennifer. So that was her name. Marcus felt bad for her. He understood that kind of panic, that feeling when everything important is trapped inside a broken machine. Jennifer hung up and called someone else. Hi, this is Jennifer Wu calling for Mr. Peterson. I need to reschedule our 11 o'clock meeting. Something came up. I know this is very last minute. I am so sorry. Can we move it to tomorrow? He cannot do tomorrow? What about Thursday? She listened. Her hand gripped the phone tightly. I see, no, I understand. If this is the only time that works for everyone, Then we will just have to cancel completely. I apologize for the inconvenience. When she hung up, she looked like she might cry. She stared at her broken laptop like it had personally betrayed her. Marcus knew that look. He had felt that way so many times in his life. When things went wrong at the worst possible time, when important opportunities slipped away because of bad luck, Jennifer opened her laptop again. She tried one more time. Same black screen, same error message. She closed it slowly and just sat there, defeated. Marcus made a decision. Maybe she would say no. Maybe she would think he was weird for offering. But he could not just sit there and watch someone struggle when he knew he could help. He cleared his throat. "Excuse me," Jennifer looked up. Her eyes were red, but she was holding it together. "Yes, I am sorry for listening to your conversation. I did not mean to, but I could not help but hear that you are having laptop trouble." Marcus tried to sound friendly and professional at the same time. "I work in IT, I fix computers. I think I might know what is wrong with yours. Would you like me to take a look?" Jennifer stared at him. Marcus could see her thinking. Could she trust a random stranger in a cafe? Did she have any other choice? Time was running out. "You can fix laptops?" she asked. Her voice had a tiny bit of hope in it. "Yes, I do it for a living. I am a freelance technician." Marcus pulled out his wallet and showed her his business card. It was a simple card he had printed himself. Nothing fancy, but it had his name and his credentials on it. Jennifer looked at the card. Then she looked at her watch. Then she looked at Marcus. How long would it take? "I need to see what the problem is first. But if it is what I think it is, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. 15 minutes? Jennifer looked at her watch again. "My presentation is at 11. It is 10:15 now." "I can try," Marcus said. "Worst case, I cannot fix it, and you are in the same situation you are in now. Best case, I get your presentation back and you make your meeting." Jennifer thought for another moment. Then she nodded. "Okay, please try. I am desperate here." Marcus moved to her table. He pulled his chair over and sat down. Jennifer moved her laptop in front of him. He opened it and saw the error message clearly now. Boot failure. Corrupted boot sector, just like he thought. "What happened right before it crashed?" Marcus asked. "I was working on my presentation," Jennifer explained, adding some last-minute changes. "Then I got a phone call. I was talking and not really paying attention. I think maybe I clicked something I should not have clicked. Then the screen froze. I could not move the mouse. I could not do anything. So I forced it to shut down. When I turned it back on, this is what I got." Marcus nodded. "Have you backed up your presentation anywhere else?" "No." Jennifer looked embarrassed. "I know I should have. I usually do, but I was in a hurry this morning and I forgot to sync it to the cloud." "Okay. Do not worry. I think your files are still there. The boot sector is corrupted, but your data should be fine." "Boot sector?" Jennifer looked confused. "It is like the table of contents for your computer," Marcus explained in simple terms. "The computer does not know where to find its own files because the table of contents got messed up. But the files themselves are probably still there. I just need to rebuild the table of contents." Jennifer looked at him with a mixture of hope and doubt. "You can do that? I have done it many times before." Marcus was already pressing keys, getting into the system's recovery mode. "It is not as scary as it sounds. How much do you charge?" Jennifer asked suddenly. Marcus paused. He had not even thought about money. "Let me fix it first. Then we can talk about that." Jennifer sat back in her chair. She watched Marcus work. His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. He was in his element now. This was what he was good at. This was where all his skills and knowledge came together. It did not matter that he was in a cafe instead of an office. It did not matter that this was a stranger instead of a paying client. He knew what to do and he was going to do it. The cafe sounds continued around them. Coffee machines, conversations, music, but Marcus tuned it all out. He focused on the screen, on the commands he was typing, on bringing this laptop back to life. Jennifer watched him with growing amazement. This random guy in a cafe was doing things with her computer that she did not even know were possible. He worked with confidence, with speed, with expertise. "Where did you learn to do this?" she asked quietly. "College, YouTube, practice." Marcus did not look up from the screen. "Mostly practice. I have fixed a lot of broken computers." "I can see that," Jennifer said. "You make it look easy." "It is not easy," Marcus admitted. But I have done it enough times that I know the steps. He continued working. Jennifer checked her watch every minute. Time was ticking away. Her presentation was getting closer. But she could see Marcus making progress. He seemed to know exactly what he was doing. For the first time since her laptop crashed, Jennifer felt like maybe everything would be okay. Maybe the stranger in the cafe was about to save her entire day. Marcus's fingers moved across the keyboard like a musician playing an instrument. Lines of white text appeared on the black screen. Jennifer watched but did not understand any of it. It looked like a secret language, commands and codes that made no sense to her. "What are you doing exactly?" she asked. She tried to keep the nervousness out of her voice. Her presentation was now 35 minutes away. "Right now I am booting the laptop in safe mode," Marcus explained. He kept his eyes on the screen. Safe mode loads only the most basic files. It skips everything else. This lets me access the system even though the normal boot process is broken. "So you are not just restarting it over and over?" Jennifer asked. "No. Restarting would just give you the same error every time." Marcus pressed more keys. New text appeared. "The problem is deeper than that. I need to get inside the system and fix what is broken." Jennifer nodded slowly. She did not fully understand, but she trusted that he knew what he was doing. She had no other choice anyway. Marcus opened something called the command prompt. It was a black screen with white text. Nothing pretty. Nothing like the normal computer screen Jennifer was used to. Just a blinking cursor waiting for commands. "This is where the real work happens," Marcus said. He started typing commands. Long strings of text with slashes and dashes and abbreviations. Jennifer could not follow any of it. "How do you remember all those commands?" she asked. "Practice," Marcus said. "I have typed these same commands hundreds of times. After a while, they stick in your head like song lyrics." He ran a diagnostic check. More text scrolled across the screen. Marcus read it quickly. Jennifer could see his eyes moving back and forth, taking in information that meant nothing to her but everything to him. "Okay, I see the problem." Marcus sounded confident. "Your boot configuration data is corrupted. That is what is stopping the computer from starting normally. Can you fix it?" Jennifer checked her watch again. 30 minutes until her presentation. "Yes, I need to rebuild the boot configuration. It will take a few minutes." Marcus was already typing new commands. "The good news is your files are fine. They are all still there. We just need to tell the computer where to find them." Jennifer felt a huge weight lift off her shoulders. Her files were safe. The presentation she had spent 2 weeks preparing was not gone forever. She let out a breath she did not know she was holding. Marcus worked in silence for a few minutes. He ran one command, waited for it to finish, then ran another command. Jennifer watched the text scroll by. She had no idea what any of it meant, but Marcus seemed to know exactly what he was doing. "Can I ask you something?" Jennifer said. "Sure," Marcus replied. His eyes stayed on the screen. "Why did you offer to help me? You do not know me. You were just sitting there working on your own stuff." Marcus thought about that for a moment. "I heard you on the phone. I could tell you were in trouble. And I knew I could probably fix it. It seemed wrong to just sit there and do nothing when I could help." "Most people would have minded their own business," Jennifer said. "Maybe." Marcus shrugged. "But I know what it is like when things go wrong. When you need help and you do not know where to get it. Someone helped me once when I really needed it. I guess I am paying that forward." Jennifer looked at him with new respect. This young man in his casual clothes, sitting in a cafe with an old laptop, had more character than many people she knew in the business world. Marcus ran another command. "Okay, the boot configuration is rebuilding now. This is the part that takes the longest. Maybe 5 more minutes. 5 minutes. I can live with 5 minutes." Jennifer looked at her watch. 25 minutes until her presentation. If Marcus finished in 5 minutes, she would have 20 minutes to get to the office. It would be tight, but she could make it. "While we wait, can I ask what kind of presentation this is?" Marcus asked. "It must be important if you are this worried about it." Jennifer laughed, but it was a nervous laugh. "It is probably the most important presentation of my career. I am pitching a new technical operations system to a group of executives. If they approve it, it will mean a massive budget increase for my department. If they do not approve it, I might be looking for a new job." "No pressure then," Marcus said with a small smile. "Right. No pressure at all." Jennifer shook her head. "I have been preparing for this for weeks. I have charts and data and case studies. I need to convince them that this system will save the company millions of dollars. And I almost lost it all because I clicked on something stupid. We all make mistakes, Marcus said. The important thing is fixing them. They watched the screen together. A progress bar appeared. It moved slowly from left to right. Then 20%, 30%. Tell me about your business, Jennifer said. You said you are a freelance technician? Yes, I fix computers for people. Small businesses. Regular people. Anyone who needs help with their technology. Marcus kept one eye on the progress bar. It is not glamorous work, but it pays the bills, mostly. How long have you been doing it? About 2 years. Before that, I had a job at a computer repair shop, but they went out of business. So I started doing freelance work instead. Do you enjoy it? Jennifer asked. Marcus thought about how to answer that. I enjoy fixing things. I enjoy helping people, but I do not enjoy the uncertainty. Never knowing when the next job will come, never knowing if I will make enough money this month. That part is hard, 50%, 60%. Have you thought about working for a company? Jennifer asked. A stable job with a steady paycheck? Marcus laughed, but there was no humor in it. I have thought about it. I have applied to probably 50 companies in the past few months. None of them want to hire me. Why not? You clearly know what you are doing. I do not have the right experience, apparently. I do not have big company names on my resume. I just have my freelance work and a small repair shop that does not exist anymore. That is not impressive enough for most places. 70%. 80%. Jennifer watched the progress bar and thought about what Marcus had said. Here was someone with real talent, real skills, someone who could solve problems quickly and efficiently, but companies were passing him by because his resume did not check the right boxes. It seemed wrong. 90%. 95%. Almost there, Marcus said. He leaned forward slightly. The progress bar reached 100%. A message appeared on the screen. Boot configuration rebuilt successfully. Marcus smiled. That is what we wanted to see. He typed one more command and hit enter. The screen went black for a moment. Then the familiar startup screen appeared. The laptop was booting normally. Jennifer held her breath. The laptop went through its startup process. It seemed to take forever, but it was probably only 30 seconds. Then the login screen appeared. Enter your password, Marcus said. Jennifer typed her password with shaking hands. She pressed enter. The desktop appeared. Everything looked normal. She could see all her files and folders. Marcus opened her documents folder and found the presentation file. Try opening it, he said. Jennifer double-clicked the file. The presentation software loaded. All her slides appeared exactly as she had left them. Every chart, every graph, every word. It was all there. Oh my God. Jennifer put her hand over her mouth. You did it. You actually did it. Your presentation is fine, Marcus said. He sounded relieved. Everything is back to normal. Jennifer looked at the screen, then at Marcus, then back at the screen. She could not believe it. 15 minutes ago, her laptop was dead and her career was potentially over. Now everything was working again. This stranger had just saved her entire day. She looked at her watch. 22 minutes until her presentation. She could make it. She could actually make it. I do not know what to say, Jennifer said. Tears formed in the corners of her eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea what you just did for me. I am just glad I could help, Marcus said. He closed the command prompt and shut down safe mode. Your laptop should work normally now, but you should back up that presentation as soon as possible. Just in case, I will. I definitely will. Jennifer was already closing her laptop and packing it into her bag. How much do I owe you? Name your price. Marcus thought about it. He could really use the money. But looking at Jennifer's grateful face, he did not feel right charging her his normal rate. Do not worry about it. I am just happy everything worked out. No, absolutely not. You saved my career. Let me pay you. Jennifer pulled out her wallet. Okay. $50? Marcus said. It was less than he would normally charge, but it felt right. Jennifer pulled out 5 $20 bills and handed them to him. Here, 100. You earned it. Marcus started to protest, but Jennifer held up her hand. Please take it. You deserve it. He took the money. $100 would help a lot with this week's expenses. Thank you. Jennifer grabbed her briefcase and laptop bag. She was in full rush mode now. but she paused and looked at Marcus one more time. Do you have a business card or something? I want to have your contact information. Marcus pulled out one of his simple cards and handed it to her. Jennifer looked at it and put it in her wallet. Thank you again, she said. Really, you are a lifesaver. Then she hurried toward the door, moving fast but carefully with her laptop bag. Marcus watched her go. He felt good, not just because of the $100, but because he had helped someone when they really needed it. He went back to his own table and sat down. The cafe was still busy around him. Nothing had changed for anyone else. But for Marcus, something felt different. He felt useful. He felt valuable. For the first time in months, he felt like his skills actually mattered. Marcus sat at his table and stared at the $100 Jennifer had given him. It was more money than he had made in the past week from all his other jobs combined. He carefully folded the bills and put them in his wallet. At least he could pay rent on time this month. At least he could buy groceries without counting every dollar. He went back to his laptop and tried to focus on the job applications he had been working on before. But his mind kept wandering back to Jennifer. He hoped her presentation went well. He hoped the laptop kept working for her. He wondered if she would ever call him again for computer help. Probably not, he thought. People like her probably had their own IT departments. She had just been desperate in the moment. Now that the emergency was over, she would forget all about the guy in the cafe who helped her. That was okay. He had helped someone who needed it. That was enough. Marcus spent the rest of the morning sending out job applications and checking his freelance websites. Nobody had responded to his earlier messages about the home network setup or the virus removal. That was normal. Sometimes people posted jobs and then never followed up. It was frustrating, but Marcus had learned to accept it. Around 1 p.m, his phone rang. Unknown number. Marcus considered not answering. Unknown numbers were usually spam calls, but he was waiting to hear back from potential clients, so he answered. Hello? Hi, is this Marcus Chen? A woman's voice. Not Jennifer. Someone else. Yes, this is Marcus. Great. My name is Sarah Kim. Jennifer Wu gave me your number. She said you are amazing with computers. My laptop has been running really slow lately and I think I might have a virus. Can you take a look at it? Marcus sat up straighter. A referral from Jennifer. Yes, absolutely. When would you like me to come by? He got Sarah's address and scheduled a time for later that afternoon. After he hung up, Marcus felt a small spark of excitement. Maybe Jennifer had told her friends about him. Maybe this would lead to more work. The rest of the day went well. He fixed Sarah's laptop. She had 3 different viruses and a ton of junk software slowing everything down. It took him about an hour to clean everything up. She paid him $80 and said she would recommend him to her coworkers. That evening, Marcus went home feeling better than he had in months. He had made almost $200 in one day. He had helped people. He had gotten a referral. Maybe things were starting to turn around. 3 days passed. Marcus went back to his normal routine. Cafe in the morning. Job applications. Checking for freelance work. He got 2 more clients from Sarah's referrals. Nothing big, but every job helped. On Thursday afternoon, Marcus was at the cafe again when his phone buzzed. An email. He almost ignored it. Most emails these days were just more rejection letters. But something made him check. The subject line said, "Following up from our cafe meeting." Marcus opened the email. It was from Jennifer. Dear Marcus, I hope this email finds you well. I wanted to follow up with you about what happened on Tuesday. First, I want to thank you again for saving my presentation. The meeting went extremely well, and the executives approved my proposal. You literally saved my career that day. Second, I realized after I left the cafe that I never properly introduced myself. I pulled out her business card and looked at it properly for the first time. My full name is Jennifer Wu, and I am the Senior Vice President of Technical Operations at Google. Marcus stopped reading. He read that sentence again. Google. Jennifer worked at Google, Senior Vice President. He had helped a high-level executive at Google, and he had no idea. His hand started shaking slightly as he continued reading. I was very impressed by your technical skills and your problem-solving abilities. The way you diagnosed the issue, explained it in simple terms, and fixed it so quickly showed real expertise. This is not something I see every day, even working in technology. I also noticed something else about you. When I asked how much I owed you, you initially said not to worry about it. When I insisted on paying, you only asked for $50. That tells me you care more about helping people than making money. That is a rare quality. Marcus, I would like to talk to you about a possible opportunity at Google. My department is currently hiring for our technical crisis response team. This team handles emergency technical issues across Google's global infrastructure. When something breaks, they are the ones who fix it fast. Based on what I saw on Tuesday, I think you would be perfect for this role. Your technical skills are strong. Your ability to stay calm under pressure is excellent, and your customer service approach is exactly what we need. I know you mentioned that you have been applying for jobs without much success. I want you to know that I am personally involved in this hiring process. If you are interested, please send me your resume and a brief cover letter mentioning our Café meeting. I will make sure your application gets proper attention. This is a real opportunity, Marcus. I do not make offers like this lightly, but I believe talent shows itself in unexpected places, and I saw real talent in you. Please let me know if you are interested. You can reach me at this email address or call my office directly. Best regards, Jennifer Wu, Senior Vice President, Technical Operations. Google. Marcus read the email 3 times. Then he read it a 4th time just to make sure he was not imagining things. Jennifer Wu, Senior Vice President at Google, was offering him a job opportunity. A real opportunity at one of the biggest technology companies in the world. His mind raced. This had to be real. The email came from a Google email address. It had Jennifer's full title and contact information. This was actually happening, but doubt crept in. Why would Google want someone like him? He was just a freelance technician with a degree from a state college. He did not have experience at big companies. He did not have impressive credentials. What if this was some kind of mistake? Marcus closed his laptop and took a walk around the cafe. He needed to think clearly. He could not let excitement cloud his judgment. He thought about Tuesday, about how he had fixed Jennifer's laptop. He had done it quickly and efficiently. He had explained things in a way she could understand. He had stayed calm even though it was a high-pressure situation. Those were real skills, skills that Jennifer had seen and valued. Maybe he was good enough for Google. Maybe his years of unglamorous freelance work had actually prepared him for something bigger. Maybe this was his chance. Marcus went back to his table and opened his laptop again. He read Jennifer's email one more time. Then he opened a new document and started writing a cover letter. It took him 2 hours to write. He rewrote it 5 times. He wanted it to be perfect. He wanted Jennifer to know that he was taking this seriously, that he understood what an incredible opportunity this was. He wrote about fixing her laptop, about his years of freelance experience, about all the different problems he had solved for all the different clients, about his ability to learn quickly and work under pressure, about how much this opportunity would mean to him. When he finished, Marcus attached his resume and the cover letter to an email. His finger hovered over the send button. This was it. This could change his entire life. Or it could be another rejection. He thought about all the rejection emails he had received, all the companies that had said no, all the times he had felt like giving up. But Jennifer had seen something in him, something worth taking a chance on. Marcus pressed send. The email disappeared from his screen. It was out there now. In Jennifer's inbox, all he could do was wait. He closed his laptop and sat back in his chair. The cafe sounds washed over him. People talking, coffee machines, music. Everything was the same as it had been an hour ago. But Marcus felt different. He felt hopeful, really hopeful. For the first time in a long time, his phone buzzed. A text message from his mom. Just checking in, honey. How are you doing? Marcus smiled and typed back. I am good, Mom, really good. I will call you tomorrow and tell you about something exciting that might be happening. His mom replied with a smiley face and a heart emoji. Marcus put his phone down and looked out the cafe window. The sun was setting. The sky was turning orange and pink. It was beautiful. Marcus did not know if he would get the job at Google. He did not know if this opportunity would actually work out. But for the first time in months, he felt like anything was possible. He had taken a chance on helping a stranger, and that stranger was now taking a chance on him. Sometimes, Marcus thought, the most important moments in life happen when you are not even looking for them, when you just do the right thing and see where it leads. Tuesday morning, he had been just another struggling freelancer in a cafe. Now he had a real shot at a dream job. He packed up his laptop and got ready to leave. Tomorrow, he would come back to the cafe and wait for Jennifer's response. He would try not to check his email every 5 minutes. He would try to stay calm and patient, but tonight he was going to let himself feel excited. He was going to let himself hope. Because maybe, just maybe, his life was about to change in ways he never imagined possible. Marcus walked out of the cafe into the cool evening air. He looked at the business card Jennifer had given him. The simple card that said Marcus Chen, IT technician. Maybe soon he would need a new card. One that said Google in the corner. He smiled and put the card back in his wallet. Then he headed home, already planning what he would say if Jennifer called. Marcus checked his email for the 20th time that morning. Nothing from Jennifer yet. It had been less than 12 hours since he sent his application. He knew he was being impatient. He knew companies took time to review applications. But he could not help himself. This was Google. This was everything he had been working toward. He was back at the cafe trying to focus on other things. He had a virus removal job scheduled for that afternoon. He had bills to pay whether Google hired him or not. Life still went on. His phone buzzed. Email notification. Marcus's heart jumped. He opened his email app with shaking hands. It was from Jennifer. Marcus. Thank you for your quick response and for sending your application. I reviewed your resume and cover letter this morning. I would like to schedule a video interview with you and 2 members of my team. Are you available tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon? This will be a technical interview. We will ask you about your experience and give you some real-world problem scenarios to solve. The interview usually takes about an hour. Please let me know if this time works for you. Best, Jennifer. Tomorrow. The interview was tomorrow. Marcus felt excitement and terror at the same time. He typed back immediately. Dear Jennifer, yes, tomorrow at 2 works perfectly for me. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I look forward to speaking with you and your team. Best regards, Marcus Chen. He sent the email and then sat there in shock. He had a job interview at Google. In less than 24 hours. He needed to prepare. He needed to study. He needed to figure out what to wear. Did people wear suits for video interviews? Marcus spent the rest of the day in a panic of preparation. He researched Google's technical operations. He reviewed common interview questions. He tested his laptop camera and microphone. He cleaned his apartment so the background would look decent on video. He picked out a nice shirt and tie. That night he barely slept. He kept thinking about potential interview questions. What if they asked him something he did not know? What if his internet connection failed during the interview? What if he messed everything up? The next morning, Marcus was at the cafe by 8. He could not sit at home and wait. He needed to do something with his nervous energy. He drank too much coffee. He reviewed his notes one more time. He practiced answering questions out loud, which earned him some strange looks from other cafe customers. At 1:30, Marcus went home. He changed into his nice shirt and tie. He set up his laptop at his kitchen table. He tested the camera angle 3 times. He made sure the lighting was good. He closed all other programs so nothing would interfere with the video call. At 1:55, he opened the video meeting link Jennifer had sent him. He sat there staring at the waiting room screen. His palms were sweating. His heart was beating fast. He took deep breaths and tried to calm down. At exactly 2 o'clock, the video connected. Jennifer appeared on screen. She smiled warmly. Hi, Marcus. Good to see you again. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Of course, let me introduce you to my colleagues. 2 other video screens appeared. This is David Chen, one of our senior technical engineers. And this is Amanda Rodriguez, who leads our crisis response team. Marcus said hello to both of them. David looked to be in his 30s with glasses and a friendly smile. Amanda looked younger, maybe late 20s, with sharp eyes that seemed to see everything. So Marcus, Jennifer started, I told David and Amanda about how you helped me with my laptop emergency. I was very impressed by your work, but they want to hear from you directly about your experience and skills. I understand, Marcus said. He tried to keep his voice steady. David spoke first. Tell me about your background. How did you get into IT and computer repair? Marcus took a breath and started talking. He told them about his computer science degree, about his first job at the repair shop, about starting his freelance business when the shop closed. He talked about the different problems he had solved over the years. Crashed hard drives, network failures, virus infections, software conflicts. You have done a lot of different work, Amanda said. What would you say is your strongest skill area? Problem diagnosis, Marcus answered. He was starting to feel a little more comfortable. I am good at figuring out what is wrong quickly. Most problems leave clues if you know what to look for. I have learned to read those clues and narrow down the issue fast. Can you give us an example? David asked. Marcus thought for a moment. Then he told them about a client who thought their computer had a virus. The antivirus scans came up clean, but the computer was still acting strange. Marcus noticed the computer only acted up when connected to the internet. He checked the router and found someone was stealing the client's Wi-Fi and using it for cryptocurrency mining. The neighbor's unauthorized mining was slowing down the entire network. David nodded approvingly. Good thinking. You looked beyond the obvious answer. The interview continued. They asked him about different technologies he had worked with. Operating systems, network protocols, hardware components. Marcus answered as best as he could. Sometimes he knew the answer immediately. Sometimes he had to think about it. A few times he admitted he did not know something but explained how he would figure it out. Then Amanda said, "Okay, now we want to give you a scenario. This is the kind of problem our team handles regularly. There is no single right answer. We just want to see how you think through it." "Okay," Marcus said. "I am ready." "Imagine you get an alert that one of our data centers has gone offline," Amanda explained. "Thousands of users are affected. You are the first person responding to this crisis. What do you do?" Marcus thought carefully. This was bigger than anything he had dealt with before. But the basic approach was the same. First, I would check if it is really the data center or if it is a network connection issue. Sometimes what looks like a data center failure is actually a routing problem. I would check the monitoring systems to see what stopped working and when. "Good," Amanda said. "What if the monitoring shows that the data center lost power?" Then I would check if backup power systems kicked in. Data centers usually have backup generators. If those failed too, that is a bigger problem. I would need to contact the people at the physical location, while also starting to route traffic to other data centers, so users are not stuck waiting. David jumped in. "What if you cannot reach anyone at the physical location?" "I would escalate it immediately. Get more people involved. Check if there are any news reports about power outages or other problems in that area. Meanwhile, I would focus on minimizing user impact by making sure all traffic is redirected properly." They threw more complications at him. What if the redirect was not working? What if users were still reporting problems? What if multiple data centers started having issues? Marcus worked through each scenario, explaining his thinking step by step. He did not know if his answers were right. He had never actually dealt with problems this big before, but he approached each one the same way he approached fixing laptops in living rooms and cafes. Stay calm, think logically, work through the problem piece by piece. After about 45 minutes, Jennifer spoke again. "Marcus, I want to ask you something different. In your cover letter, you mentioned that you care about helping people."
"Can you tell me more about that?"
Marcus paused. This was not a technical question. "I guess I just think that technology should make people's lives better, not more stressful. When someone's computer breaks, it is not just a machine problem. It is affecting their work, their life, their ability to do things they need to do. I like being the person who can fix that for them." "That is exactly the attitude we need," Amanda said. She looked at Jennifer and David. They seemed to share some unspoken communication. Jennifer smiled. "Marcus, thank you for your time today. You did very well. We still have a few more candidates to interview, but we will be in touch soon. Do you have any questions for us?" Marcus asked about the team structure and what a typical day looked like. They answered his questions honestly. The job sounded challenging but exciting. Exactly the kind of thing Marcus had been hoping for. When the video call ended, Marcus sat back in his chair. His shirt was damp with sweat. His hands were still shaking slightly from the adrenaline, but he felt good. He had done his best. Whether it was enough, he would have to wait and see. He changed out of his nice shirt and went for a walk. He needed to clear his head. He could not spend the rest of the day obsessing over the interview. That evening, he called his mom and told her everything. About fixing Jennifer's laptop, about the job opportunity, about the interview. His mom cried happy tears and said she was proud of him no matter what happened. 5 days passed. Marcus tried to stay busy. He took freelance jobs. He worked out. He watched movies. He tried not to check his email constantly. But every time his phone buzzed, his heart jumped. On Tuesday afternoon, exactly 1 week after he had helped Jennifer in the cafe, his phone rang. Google. The caller ID said Google. Marcus answered with a shaky voice. Hello?
Hi, Marcus.
This is Jennifer Wu. Hi, Jennifer. I wanted to call you personally with some good news. We would like to offer you a position on our technical crisis response team. Marcus felt like all the air had left his lungs. Really? You impressed everyone in the interview. More importantly, you showed us in that cafe that you have the instincts and skills we need. This is a real offer, Marcus. We want you on our team. I do not know what to say. Marcus felt tears forming in his eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You earned it, Jennifer said warmly. You will receive a formal offer letter in your email within the next hour. It will include all the details about salary, benefits, start date, everything. Take your time to review it. Call me if you have any questions. After they hung up, Marcus sat on his couch and cried. Not sad tears. Happy tears. Relieved tears. All the stress and worry and rejection of the past months came pouring out. He had done it. He had actually done it. He was going to work at Google. An hour later, the offer letter arrived. Marcus opened it with shaking hands. The salary number made his eyes go wide. It was more than double what he had been making freelance, more than he had ever thought he would earn. There was health insurance, retirement benefits, vacation time, everything he had been missing. Marcus accepted the offer that same day. His start date was 3 weeks away. 3 weeks to wrap up his freelance work. 3 weeks to prepare for his new life. That night he went back to the cafe. His cafe, the place where everything had changed. He ordered a coffee and sat at his usual table. He looked around at all the familiar faces. The regular customers, the busy workers, the students studying. 1 week ago, he had been just another person here struggling to make ends meet. Now he was about to start a career at one of the biggest companies in the world, all because he had offered to help a stranger fix her laptop. 6 months later, Marcus walked into the same cafe on his lunch break. It was a Tuesday, just like the day that had changed his life. The cafe looked exactly the same. Same tables, same menu, same barista behind the counter, but everything else had changed. Marcus wore business casual clothes now. Nice pants, a button-down shirt, comfortable shoes that were still professional. He no longer looked like someone struggling to make rent. He looked like someone who had his life together. Because he did. He ordered a coffee without worrying about the price. He even added a pastry. 6 months ago, that would have been an unnecessary expense. Now it was just Tuesday lunch. Marcus found an empty table and sat down. Not his old corner table. That was taken by someone else now. A young woman with an older laptop typing frantically. She looked stressed. She looked like Marcus had looked 6 months ago. He opened his laptop and checked his work messages. 3 new tickets in the crisis response system. A server problem in Tokyo. A network issue in London. A database failure in São Paulo. These were the kinds of problems Marcus dealt with now. Big problems. Important problems. Problems that affected thousands or millions of users. It still felt surreal sometimes. Marcus Chen, who had struggled to pay rent 6 months ago, was now part of Google's elite technical crisis response team. He worked with brilliant engineers from all over the world. He solved problems that most people did not even know existed. He made a salary that let him save money every month. His apartment had changed too. Nothing fancy. Marcus was not the type to spend money on luxury. But he had upgraded to a bigger place in a better neighborhood. He had bought a new laptop. He had paid off his credit card debt. He had started a savings account. Small things, normal things. Things that felt like miracles after years of struggling. But more than the money, Marcus loved the work. Every day brought new challenges. Every crisis was different. His years of freelance experience had prepared him well. All those random problems he had solved for random clients had taught him to think on his feet, to stay calm under pressure, to find creative solutions when the obvious ones did not work. His coworkers were amazing, smart, funny, passionate about what they did. Marcus had worried at first that he would not fit in, that he would be the only one without a fancy degree or big company experience. But Jennifer had been right. His skills spoke for themselves. His instincts were valuable. He belonged there. Marcus thought about Jennifer often. She had taken a chance on him based on 15 minutes in a cafe. She had seen potential in him when most companies saw only a lack of credentials. She'd changed his entire life with one email. They had become friends over the past 6 months. Not close friends. Jennifer was busy with her senior vice president duties. But they had lunch together sometimes. They talked about work and life. She checked in on him to make sure he was adjusting well to the company. Just last week, Jennifer had told Marcus that she was proud of him. "You have exceeded every expectation," she had said. "You are one of the best hires I have made in years." That had meant more to Marcus than any paycheck. To know that he had not just gotten lucky, that he had actually earned his place on the team, that his skills and hard work had value. His phone buzzed. A text message from Amanda, his team leader. "Crisis on the Singapore server farm. Need your expertise. Can you join the call?" Marcus smiled. 6 months ago, the idea that someone would need his expertise would have seemed impossible. Now it was just another Tuesday. He texted back that he would be there in 5 minutes. He finished his coffee and started packing up his laptop. As he did, he noticed the young woman at his old table. She was talking on her phone. Her voice was stressed. "I do not know if I can make the rent this month. I am trying. I am applying everywhere. Nobody is calling me back." Marcus recognized that feeling, that desperation, that fear. He had been there. He knew how dark those days could feel. He paused. Should he say something? Should he tell her that it would get better? That opportunities could come from unexpected places? Would that sound preachy coming from a stranger? He decided against it. Everyone's path was different. What had worked for him might not work for her. Besides, she probably did not want advice from some random guy in a cafe. But as Marcus walked toward the door, he made a small decision. He walked to the counter and handed the barista a $20 bill. "The woman at that corner table," he said quietly. "Whatever she orders for the rest of the day, it is on me. Do not tell her who paid for it. Just tell her someone wanted to help." The barista smiled and nodded. "That is very kind of you," Marcus shrugged. "Someone helped me once when I needed it. Just passing it forward." He left the cafe and walked back toward the Google office. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. The sky was clear. Marcus felt grateful, not just for the job and the money, but for the chance to do meaningful work, to be part of something bigger than himself. His phone rang. It was David from his team. "Marcus, we need you on this Singapore situation. The server farm has a critical failure and we cannot figure out what is causing it." "I am 5 minutes away," Marcus said. "Send me the initial diagnostics and I will review them while I walk." He looked at the data on his phone as he walked. Server failures. Multiple systems going down in sequence. It looked like a cascading failure, not a single point of failure. That meant the problem was probably in how the systems were connected, not in the systems themselves. Marcus's mind shifted into problem-solving mode. The same mode he had been in when he helped Jennifer. The same mode he entered when he fixed laptops for clients. The same skills, just bigger problems. When he got back to the office, Marcus joined the video call with his team. Engineers from 3 continents were all on the call. Everyone looking at the same data. Everyone trying to solve the same problem. "What do you think, Marcus?" Amanda asked. She had learned to trust his instincts. Marcus shared his screen and pointed out what he had noticed. "Look at the timing of the failures. They are happening every 12 minutes. That is too regular to be random. Something is triggering a cascade every 12 minutes. The backup system, David said suddenly. It runs a verification check every 12 minutes. Exactly, Marcus agreed. The verification check is probably finding a problem and trying to fix it. But the fix is causing the cascade. We need to disable the automatic fix and do it manually. They implemented Marcus's suggestion. Within 20 minutes, the Singapore server farm was back online. Crisis averted. Thousands of users never even knew there had been a problem. Nice work, Marcus, Amanda said. That was good thinking. After the call ended, Marcus sat at his desk and took a deep breath. 6 months ago, he had been fixing laptops in cafes. Today, he had just helped restore a major data center halfway around the world. The scale was different, but the approach was the same. See the problem, think it through, find the solution. That evening, Marcus video called his parents. He did this every week now. He told them about his day, about the Singapore crisis, about how work was going. I am so proud of you, honey, his mom said. You have worked so hard for this. I got lucky, Marcus said. I was in the right place at the right time. No, his dad said firmly. You were prepared. When the opportunity came, you were ready for it. That is not luck. That is hard work paying off. Marcus thought about that after the call ended. His dad was right. Yes, meeting Jennifer had been lucky, but everything that happened after that was because Marcus had the skills to back it up. His years of unglamorous freelance work had taught him things that fancy internships never could have. Real-world problem-solving, working with limited resources, staying calm under pressure, explaining technical things in simple terms. All those skills that had seemed worthless on his resume had actually been incredibly valuable. He just needed someone to see past the resume and notice the real skills underneath. Marcus looked at his old business card. The simple one that said Marcus Chen, IT technician. He had kept it as a reminder of where he came from, a reminder that talent and character mattered more than credentials. He thought about all the people out there who were like he had been 6 months ago. Talented people, hardworking people. People who just needed someone to take a chance on them. People who kept getting rejected because their resumes did not check the right boxes. Maybe someday, Marcus thought, he could be that person for someone else. The person who looked past the resume and saw the real potential. The person who gave someone their big break. For now, though, Marcus was just grateful. Grateful for Jennifer's broken laptop. Grateful for his decision to help a stranger. Grateful for every rejection that had led him to that cafe on that particular Tuesday morning. Life was funny that way, Marcus thought. The most important moments did not announce themselves. They did not come with fanfare or warning. They came disguised as ordinary moments. A stranger struggling with a laptop. A simple decision to offer help. 15 minutes that changed everything. Marcus opened his laptop and saw another crisis alert. A problem in the Frankfurt data center this time. He smiled and dove into the diagnostics. This was his life now, solving problems, helping people, making a difference. 6 months ago, he had wondered if his skills had any value. If anyone would ever appreciate what he could do. If he would ever get his chance. Now he knew the answer. His skills had value. People did appreciate them. And he had gotten his chance. All because he had done the right thing at the right time. All because he had been kind to a stranger. All because he had believed in himself even when nobody else did. Marcus looked at the Frankfurt data center problem and started working. Another crisis. Another solution. Another day in his new life. And somewhere in a cafe across town, a young woman received a free coffee she had not ordered. The barista told her that someone had paid for it. Someone who wanted to help. The woman sat there confused but grateful. She did not know who had done it. She did not know why. But for a moment her difficult day felt a little bit lighter. And maybe, just maybe, she would remember this kindness someday. And pass it forward to someone else who needed it. That was how the world changed, Marcus thought. One act of kindness at a time. One person helping another. One moment that seemed small but meant everything. He fixed the Frankfurt problem in 30 minutes. Another crisis resolved. He stood up and stretched. It was getting late. Time to go home. As Marcus packed up his things, he thought about tomorrow. More problems to solve. More crises to handle. More opportunities to use his skills for something meaningful. He walked out of the Google office into the cool evening air. The city lights were starting to come on. People hurried past on the sidewalk, all with their own stories. Their own struggles. Their own dreams. Marcus smiled and headed toward the subway. He was one of them. Just another person in the city. But he was also someone who had learned an important lesson. Success did not always come from following the perfect plan. Sometimes it came from being ready when opportunity knocked. From doing the right thing even when nobody was watching. From believing in your own worth even when the world did not seem to notice. And most importantly, from never underestimating the power of a simple act of kindness. Because you never knew. That stranger you helped today might just change your life tomorrow. Marcus had learned that lesson in a cafe 6 months ago, and he would never forget it.